Hey, Yinz guys and gals, gather around for a journey like no other. It's time to hop on board the Yinz Goin podcast. From the rivers that meet at the point to form downtown Pittsburgh, to the sheer face of Half Dome, to the furthest corners of the globe, Matt will be your compass, your confidant, your companion as we explore the wonders of travel. So sit back, relax on your couch, and let the wanderlust whoosh over Yinz as we discover new horizons and reminisce about old favorites. With Matt by our side, the sky's the limit. Join Matt on the Yinz Goin podcast because when it comes to travel, the journey's just getting started. And now, without further ado, let's give a shot for your guide through the highways and byways of travel. Your planning partner, the man with the map, Matt Schraeder. How yin's doing? Welcome to the Where Yin's Going podcast. I'm Matt. I'm your host. Joining me today is my sister Mary, who is one of what seemed like a million Stiller fans. By the way, it's Stillers, not Steelers, that made the trip to Ireland to see the Stillers play the Vikings in Dublin. And this is airing right around, St. Patrick's Day. It's gonna be next week whenever this airs. So, top of the morning to you.
Nice. Hello. Thanks
I
for
feel,
having me.
yeah, I figured it was topical. So now, whenever we have a new guest on the podcast, we always ask, or I ask this question: is what is your favorite place you've ever visited, or is there a place you would like to visit the most? I know
Um,
you've been to Europe before, and you went to Ireland this time, and you've gotten
yeah,
to travel a bit.
yes. It's still Ireland. It's my favorite place. Every time I go there, I just love it. And I just get this feeling of like happiness and it's beautiful. So I would always go back to Ireland if someone would ask me.
It's our ancestral homeland, at least one of them.
Yes.
So there's
Maybe that's the connection.
say something about it.
Yeah.
And I've never been to Ireland. It's on my bucket list. But whenever our older sister Chrissy and I went to Germany, oh geez, that's when this airs. It's almost like 26. Oh, let's see,
Yeah.
27 years
Yeah.
ago.
Let's say close to 30.
Let's say it was May of 1999 that we went.
That's long.
That thanks for making me feel old now. So
You're welcome.
flying from I don't know if we had a direct flight. It might have been a direct flight from Pittsburgh to Frankfurt back then. That it was a red eye, and whenever it was the sun was coming up, we were flying over Ireland, and
Okay.
so we were looking out, and we saw Ireland below us, and it was perfect clear skies, and just the green of Ireland. That it was just like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yes, that's exactly the what you see and how you feel when you go there because it's not like green here. It's a green you can't describe. Only when you see it you understand.
It's Irish green.
Yes, it is. It is. It truly is.
So, your flight, you went Pittsburgh to Boston to Dublin,
Yes.
and the you had a flight delay on the trip to Boston, huh?
So early in the morning, Jason, my husband, was tracking our flight and weather because that's what he does. And it was bad storms that day, unfortunately. And if it was any other day, our flight would probably have been canceled and we would have missed our connection to Dublin. But because of how many people were going over there for the Steeler game, our our flight was not like canceled, only delayed like 45 minutes. So you couldn't ask for better travel to at least your first connection to make it over to Ireland because there really wasn't any other options to get there on time for the game if we missed it. So everybody was rooting for us that day for sure.
There were so many Steeler fans going that if the airline would have canceled that flight and people would have missed flights, there would have been it would have been a bad day for the airline.
Yes. I think, and that's exactly what they said too, because Jason, my husband, used to travel for work, and he said this never happens. So, and when we went to check our bags, they were like, "Yeah, our like manager was working hard not to cancel these flights because of how many people were going to Ireland for the game." So, we got lucky. Irish luck, right?
Exactly. Luck of the Irish. And we have been, my daughter and I, India, we've been on that same flight and it has also been delayed.
Yes.
Although we were doing the Pittsburgh to Boston and then going to Istanbul on our way to Indonesia. And it got delayed a couple hours and we had like so your Boston to Dublin flight left at 9:45. I think that was around the time that our uh, flight to Turkey left. So we were figuring, all right, we got 3 hours and then the delay
Yeah.
comes. It's like, okay, we got 2 hours. Okay,
Yeah.
we got an hour.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna have to run through Logan
Yeah.
International Airport to get to our flight, and we barely made it. They were on their last boarding thing. I think they knew we were coming, so they held the plane. But
That was nice. Yeah.
uh,
We only had, like I said, it was probably only an hour delay, which was lucky. So we still had time to like get something to eat before we boarded and stuff. So it wasn't like that, but for sure got lucky with not having to worry about rescheduling the flights because that would have been a nightmare.
oh yeah, of course, whenever we did it, India being the extremely social butterfly that she is, she made friends with people while we were sitting in Pittsburgh Airport. That the one lady she was sitting across from just happened to be a nanny who loved little kids. And so Indy talked to
But
them and they had dogs and cats and stuff. So Indy was so interested. And then whenever we get off the flight, she finds them and she starts wanting to talk to them like, Indy, we need to run to this airplane if or else we're not going to go see mommy.
you're
And
gonna
she's like, but wait, I want to say bye. It's like, okay, let's go.
you gotta go, gotta run. Nothing like running to the airport with a kid.
No, it reminds me of the scenes from Home Alone 2 or
Yeah,
Home Alone 1, either
at least
one.
you didn't get on the wrong flight, right? Two, it's two. Just saying.
Yeah, in the second one, yeah, wrong flight.
So yeah, so we got lucky, but there was no other issues with our flights though. So
That's good. And my sister has three kids too, and the ages whenever they went were 5 to, let's see, no, it would have been
12.
12.
Mm-hmm. 5, 12, and 9. So they all did pretty good. Can't complain. They were on their best behaviors, including their dad.
He better have been because he
Yeah,
would have been in trouble.
yeah. No, it was all good.
So you got to Dublin around 9 o'clock in the morning
Yes,
and then took a train to Galway.
yes. We actually went dropped our bags at our hotel in Dublin because we were only staying in Galway for a night. So that's a tip that you can have that if you're going to be jumping around from city to city and you know you're going to return to one city, if your hotel will keep your bag so you don't have to travel with all your luggage, that was key. So we only had one bag to take with us on that train. So that was nice not to have all of them.
Oh yeah, and I've done train travel whenever we did our Germany trip, traveling through Germany and then to a couple of different places. Then we went to through Belgium into Paris, and so traveling with bags on trains and getting them up the steps and through the train terminal, it's
Yes.
something I'd rather not have to worry about.
Plus, we had a stroller this time just to make sure that Seth, my youngest, wasn't too tired. So I had a stroller in the mix. It was nice not to have to worry about 6 more bags. So, but yeah, we went straight to there, which was fine. We actually boarded an earlier train. We were able to make that work. We had some buffer time put in there just in case customs took longer, but it was very fast in Dublin. Again, I don't know if they were just all prepared for the game. So it was like, why are you here? And then we were through within minutes. And then our bags came quickly. So yeah, we got on an earlier train. So that was nice that we had more time in Galway that night than what we originally planned. So
And from international travel, from my perspective, traveling with a U.S. passport, things are usually pretty easy. The
yeah,
getting visas to other countries and things like that, or a visa on arrival, that it's usually not an issue.
yeah,
For my wife, who's an Indonesian citizen and has an Indonesian passport, she has to go through a longer process to get visas to different places. Like whenever we've gone to Niagara Falls, that it we had to apply like
yeah,
months before just to make sure we had enough time to get send away her passport to get the visa put in to send it back and uh this time whenever we went to Australia over Thanksgiving that it was a little bit easier process that time, but we still had to apply for a special passport or a special visa for her to go to there. That for India and I, it was we just do the electronic visa and it was a little bit quicker and
Yeah.
cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't have an issue. And even, yeah, everything was really smooth. Again, I don't know, it's because they knew they were going to have thousands of people coming into their country. So they were prepared for it, or if it's just always like that. Never had an issue. So, but yeah, travel was fine. Even on the trains are great, by the way. If you're planning a European vacation, look into the trains. It's nice to see like the countryside and different cities on your way, and you can like sit back and relax, take another nap if you need to. So it was good.
Oh, and all throughout Europe and United Kingdom, train travel is very common, and so it's super efficient
Yeah.
and very convenient.
And it's
And
not,
they're go ahead.
sorry, it was not too expensive, like in the grand scheme of things. So that's always an option too, if you're looking to cut costs. So
Yeah, if several, 100 million Europeans do it all the time, it can't be too bad, right?
yeah, exactly. But again, the train was good. Got in the Galway. It was fun to walk around and see our first Irish city, and it was nice to stretch our legs.
Oh yeah.
So, and get
And
something to eat. That was the priorities.
and you went to Dough Brothers.
Yes, so that's a cool little restaurant. So traveling with kids and a husband that liked pizza, I knew that was going to probably be a safe option. So I was researching some options of where to eat, especially that first day. I knew everybody would be tired and hungry, so I found this Dobros, and it's a cool little restaurant that's actually, you go through a pub and it sits behind the pub, and it's half open, half closed, and they had live music, so it was just like really good restaurant to go the first night, that it was like chill and the kids could, be kids and just take in the whole atmosphere of Ireland, Galway, which is my new favorite city in Ireland. So,
What was the favorite beforehand?
probably Killarney. It's still a close second, but that Galway was just uniquely different, and I don't know. You just have to go there to experience it. There's my plug. Go to Ireland.
So is it more of like an Irish atmosphere or like an Irish culture thing that like really put you into the mood, or was there other things that were just like quaint town, whatever?
Yes, all of it. And
Okay.
also in a different phase of my life, I think, too. When we first went, we were newly married, you know, finances were different. So I feel like when you're older, more stable, you can do things and see things differently. So, but yeah, it was just seeing all of the different small towns that we didn't experience maybe the first time, or I just don't remember, or both. Um, that I enjoyed this time, just seeing more of the coast too. We didn't really do that last time.
And that's one thing that whenever I've talked to other people about their international travels, that it's a lot of the smaller towns that really are the highlight. It's not the bigger towns and the big cities that have all the big touristy things. It's the smaller ones that stand out to them. Like
Yeah,
whenever we
sure.
talk to our brother-in-law Jimmy about his Viking cruise that he went on with our sister Jolie, that it was one of the smaller towns. I think it, I think it was in Spain that he said. I'd have to go back and listen. It was like a year and a half ago that we did that,
Yeah,
getting close to 2 years ago. That but it was a smaller town that they said that they loved that it was
yeah.
real quiet, and it could have
Mhm.
been that after the go 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 rush 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 big city big city big city, that having a slower paced one just was different, and so it appealed to them a little bit when they needed a rest. But they said it was a the highlight of, I was not expecting anything from this town, and it completely over delivered. And it sounds like that's a similar thing with Galway.
Yes. Yeah. I like obviously Galway itself is like a little city. And actually people that there were like kids, teenagers that were on the train with us that I think that's like, there's like a mall. So they go there. So it's still like a city. But when we took our tour to the cliffs and seeing the other side of the coast, that was cool. And I like seeing the smaller towns. Just because again, it's just a different atmosphere. Like Jimmy said, you just don't expect it. So yeah.
And then, so that was on a Friday that you end up landing there and
Yes.
got to see a little bit of Galway. And then Saturday, you spent a little bit more time there. You got
Yeah.
to do some tours.
Yeah. We went on a tour, which I highly recommend. So this tour stopped every 30 minutes, which is nice. So you're not sitting for hours on a tour bus and just looking out the window. So we made stops. So the first one was like a castle, many castles in Ireland, but we stopped and went to a castle, took some photos. It was like on a lake, so that was pretty. And then we went to caves. I don't. You have to ask Jason what they were called. I just remember they were the caves again. But the tour guy was interesting. He was talking about like the potato phantom. You know,
Famine.
there
Yeah,
you
there
go.
you go.
And uh, just like why certain things is like existed because of it, like these stone walls that you see in Europe sometimes that don't have any cement in them. They're just like rocks stacked up and they like stay there. But why they exist was because that was like part of the like slavery that the Irishmen had to go through during that time. Anyway, they're pretty cool looking though. So you get to see a lot of those going to the caves, and then from the caves we went to the cliffs, which I know a lot of people know about. Um, which a lot of people said that were scary to take your kids because it is open and you can like fall if you're not aware, but there was a wall. So if you take one path, there is a wall that your kids are safe if you take your kids. I did not feel nervous with my kids um, going up to see the cliffs at all. It was really cool to see. Plus, we got lucky with the weather. It did not rain until our last day, so we got to see everything clearly, and that was cool.
And reminds me of whenever we were younger, we went to Yosemite. We were up on Glacier Point, and there's a very nice picture of Mary and I with Half Dome in the background. And we were the only ones brave enough to go close enough to the edge
Yeah.
of the
Yes.
of walkway, yeah, because there's like a 3,000 foot drop there. Now
Yeah.
there's a wall there. I don't think there was exactly a wall whenever we were
I think there was
there.
a fence.
There might have been a little fence, but yeah, no one else, none of our other sisters or our mom wanted to go near the edge, and
Yeah.
we went close enough to get a good picture.
There's multiple paths though, so I'm sure if you went the other way, there might not been the wall high enough. But for Seth, my youngest, he like couldn't even see over it, so good to go.
And that
So
was the cliff of Moher.
yeah, yes, those are beautiful. Just hopefully you don't get rain, because if you don't, the view is not as obviously pretty. But September has been a good time to go. We went there twice, and it didn't rain as much, or we just got lucky again. I don't know. But yeah, then after that, we went to a little called Doolin. They provided lunch at like one of the pubs down there, and then we saw the rest of the coast coming back to Galway. So that was nice little. What was it like 5 hours, 7 hours? I can't remember. But
So, but a good most of a day trip.
yes, I would recommend it highly because you get to see a lot of that part of Ireland. But like I said, you're making multiple stops, so you're not just sitting on a tour bus the whole time. You get to like actually go see stuff.
And you get food, which is always good.
Yes, for lunch. Well, the cliffs have food too, so you could
Yeah.
get food there. But yeah, that was fun and cool. And then went back to Galway for a hot second to get our luggage, and walk around a little bit more before we hop back on a train that night.
And then went back to Dublin.
Yes, we went back to Dublin, went to our hotel, went to bed because it was like 10 o'clock by the time we got there. Um, the boys got pizza again because they were hungry, but went to bed, woke up in Dublin, and went straight to the Guinness factory, which again with kids was still good. They had fun. Um, we still drank some Guinness and then made our way back to our hotel to regroup for the game.
And whenever she says we, she just means the adults, not the kids, okay?
Oh yes, the adults. There's another couple with their son that came with us. So 4 adults, 4 kids. So yeah, and then we got ready for the game. That was we walked to the game from our hotel, which was about, I don't know, 20 minutes. Um the only thing that I would tell you to do if you ever go over for any type of US sporting event to Europe is whatever souvenirs. Sorry, my dog might be getting into the picture. That whatever souvenirs you might want, get them in the United States before you go. Because that was the only thing that was disappointing. That the boys all wanted terrible towels and we couldn't find them. It wasn't advertised correctly, in my opinion. That it was only at a store down by the Temple Bar, which is like on the opposite side of where the stadium was. Uh, and our hours of operation didn't allow you to go to the game and then go get souvenirs after. And they didn't sell them in the stadium. So that's just one thing that we learned through that experience is that if you absolutely want something, get it before you go.
It wasn't just the kids who wanted terrible towels, too.
No, a couple other people did too. I failed to bring them back, but the game itself was great. That was a lot of fun. The kids say that's the highlight for them. So hopefully they remember it.
And of course, the Steelers won, so that's what makes it so
Yeah,
great. Although they tried
barely.
not to win at the
Yes,
end, they made
barely.
it closer than it needed to be.
Yes, they but it was fun. They had like live entertainment throughout the game, like not like an actual Irish band. So you got to listen to some traditional music while you were there. So that was my favorite part probably because that was one of my things that I wanted to do, which I did get to do sort of.
Right? Hearing the Irish music.
Yes, I told everybody that was going that all I wanted to do was hear traditional Irish music in a pub. Weirdly enough, they're kind of strict. Ireland's kind of strict on their rules with alcohol in general. They have a zero tolerance. Like you cannot have a drink and drive there. Shockingly, don't ask me why I don't. I thought they would be a little bit more lenient, but you're not allowed to drink at all and drive, which you shouldn't anyway. But anywho, they also don't allow kids in pubs past 9:30. So at least in Dublin. Maybe in the smaller towns they're not as strict, but in Dublin they were. Um, so we were walking home from dinner after the game, and I heard music and went in to listen, and they kicked us out like 5 minutes later because we had kids. So note that.
Moral of the story: kids ruin everything.
To a degree. So, but no, it was great. So if you are going with kids, though, just be aware that some establishments will not allow you to stay past 9:30 with them. But
Yeah, and the zero tolerance for drinking and driving stuff, that is very common throughout Europe. That since
yeah,
they have more liberal drinking laws with the age, lower age restrictions or no age restrictions, whatever it is,
yeah,
that it's a little bit more of a common accepted thing. And so it's, hey, if there's anything, then just know. And especially because in most of those places, they have, if it's a big enough city, they're going to have really good public transportation you can take to get wherever you need to go. And if it's a smaller town, you can walk where you're going.
yeah,
So it's really,
yeah,
there's no need for you to to drive after you've been drinking. So, but please plan ahead in case you are going somewhere.
Yes. And they have um apps similar to like Uber and stuff. You just have to download it. Actually, if you're coming from the train station, we learned that if it's late at night, you need to download that app and oh no, are you there? Sorry.
Yeah.
Uh, download that app to schedule your Uber or taxi, whatever you want to call it, because they don't just like wait there for you at that time. But it's easy to do.
Now, going back to the Steeler game, what was the, can you give an estimate of the ratio of Steeler fans to Viking fans who were there?
Oh, I don't know. 70-30 or 60-40. There's definitely more Steeler fans than Vikings.
Yeah, seeing the highlights and watching on TV, that there was definitely a bit more of yellow terrible towels
Yeah.
flying around there.
But they also were catering to us too, because I guess it was a home game for us. So lots
Yeah,
of more Steeler, like,
decorations. Yeah,
yeah, like, but I think also the Vikings were playing in London the following week. So that could have been also why people didn't come to this game. There are some people that were going to both. So we saw some Viking fans that said that.
yeah, and also the fact that the Steeler owners, or well, now he's passed away, but Dan Rooney, who's son of the Steeler founder Art Rooney, was the U.S. ambassador to Ireland during the Obama administration. So we in Rooney, very big Irish name that
Mhm.
we kind of have an in with the Irish.
Yes. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of Steeler fans. Like I said, our whole flight basically was going to Ireland for that game. So
And you got more Italian food. So here's the thing: if you're going to go to Ireland, they have a lot of Italian food.
they actually have a lot more food, variety of food than you think. There was a whole like little Chinatown vibe that we saw walking from the game to back to our hotel. So there's a lot of options actually, even though we didn't really explore them. Uh, just know that you can get many types of different foods.
So you're not going to go and just eat potatoes.
No, none at all. So yeah, but the Italian place was good, especially with kids. Again, it was a good option that you know that they're going to eat and not be hungry. And we got to explore a little bit more of Dublin by going there. So win-win.
And then next day on Monday, you got to go from Dublin to Cork.
Yes, we took another train to Cork. Um, I've been to Cork before, but not. I guess we didn't really go into the city, so that was nice to actually see a um, different parts of it. So we went back to the Blarney Stone. All the kids tried to kiss it, so hopefully we all have luck. Um, that is a cute little town too. And we got burgers again. Like with kids, I played safe, so everybody was happy.
And with the Blarney Stone, to actually kiss the Blarney Stone, that's a bit of an ordeal, isn't it?
Yeah, so you have to climb up the castle, which is very narrow. So if you're tall, not an issue for me. But if you're tall, you do have to watch your head on some of the ceilings. And then you have to walk on like basically the roof of the castle and slide your body and lean back. There is a bar, but if you have a skinny little kid like my 5-year-old, it was not letting go of his feet. He tried, but he got a little scared. So he didn't make it all the way to the rock, but it's okay. The other two did it, but you have to at least do it once. Jason and I did it twice, but you have to do it at least once if you're going through Cork, I would say.
Yeah, so you're laying on your back on kind of the top of a castle, leaning back to
Yes,
to
but
kiss the Blarney Stone.
there's two guides that are assisting you. And like I said, and then there's a little two little bars that you're not going to fall through. An adult will not fall through. So you're safe. So if you're afraid of heights, just do it. You'll be fine.
And the two guys who help you never miss arm day, so don't worry, they're strong enough.
They're good. They kind of have a mat that you slide onto, so it's not like,
Crawling across
yeah, you're all good.
pure rock, yeah.
Yeah, you're all good. But I would definitely tell you, if you can, do our tour. Get it through a tour, because I think you skipped the line. Our tour unfortunately got canceled that day, so we did it ourselves, which was still fine, but we did have to wait like an hour. So,
And how does Cork compare to Dublin and Galway?
so Cork is very hilly. Um, I don't know why I was thinking Ireland was like flat, but it's not. It's extremely hilly. Um, I don't. It gives a little bit more of a European city vibe, if that makes sense. Older buildings. It's still unique and cool. There was actually a big rugby game that night being played. I think it was Ireland versus France. France, maybe?
Ireland versus somebody who is not Ireland.
Yes. But that would have been cool to see. It was just not in the cards. It was cold and you can only do so much whenever you squeeze a lot into a 5-day trip. So, but that would have been cool to see. Maybe next time. But I would definitely go back and explore Cork more. We didn't get to do everything just because of only being there for like 24 hours. So
Yeah, and how did the kids react to being there? Was this like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing, or were there different reactions because you have different ages? I imagine Noah, the oldest one, would have had more of an appreciation of being in a different country
yeah,
as opposed to the other two.
yeah, they were all like took it in. I think they thought like the countryside was cool. They all liked the cliffs. Obviously, going in a castle was cool too. Um,
Yeah, we don't have too many of them near us, huh?
yeah, so I think just taking it all in, I think it helps that could everybody speaks English, a version of English over there. So I think the actual culture shock wasn't as much because minus scenery, everything was kind of quote unquote normal for them. But yeah, I think. But I go back to it. They all enjoyed the game the most, including Seth. He was living his best life.
And just for a little perspective, all three of them play sports,
Yeah.
and Seth, the youngest, is an uber Pittsburgh sports fan.
Yeah.
That during baseball season, whenever he wakes up, he wants to wear the color jersey that the team will wear that night. And
Yes.
so
Correct
he's
uniform.
really,
Yeah. And Noah watches every Steeler game. And Miles is your typical middle child that goes with the flow and but enjoys whatever we're doing. So as long as he is fed, he's happy. So yeah,
no, the next day you rented a car and
we
drove to Killarney.
yes. So Jason drove. This is his second time driving there. So this time I feel like we're not pros, but it wasn't as scary. So
You're
uh,
driving on the left-hand side of the road.
yeah.
Yeah, I've done
So
that several times, and it's actually not that hard to get used to.
no,
The
you just have to
toughest, go
go.
ahead.
No, you go.
I would say the toughest thing for me was remembering that the windshield wipers and the turn signal are also switched.
Okay.
So
I don't.
you're used to, okay, you gotta make a turn and move your hand to hit the thing, and then the windshield wiper starts. It's like, oh crap. And then you use the other
Yeah.
hand. And then since we, or usually have a little bit more extended trips in when we're in Indonesia and Malaysia, they coming back, it's the same thing of you get so used to using the other hand. It's like, oh crap again. I gotta
Yeah. No, now you're back to normal. The only thing I kept on reminding him was when we turned, like, make sure that you're in the left. You're in the left. Like, so when you're making right hand turns, make the left. So that was, but the only other thing that he said was, kind of difficult was parallel parking. We had a parallel park the one time, or possibly, and he was like, I can't do this. It's just too hard for me to like figure it out. So, but other than that, driving was great. Again, getting to see the countryside and different little towns and houses um, was cool. And it was more, I feel like the kids could relax a little bit and just chill in the car and then get out and do our exploring in Killarney in the national park, which we went and saw the waterfall this time. So if you could do that, I would tell you to do it because that was pretty cool. It is a little bit of a hike, but not too bad.
And now, if you're sitting in the car for about an hour, it's nice to get out and
Yeah, and
do
stretch the
something,
legs.
especially when you got kids.
Yes, they
And
got the only issue is bathrooms. Luckily, I have boys, so that wasn't too much of an issue. So
that's not, yeah, nice thing with boys is if there's an emergency and you need a bathroom, all you gotta do is find the closest tree.
we sure did, and I took a picture of it. So, but yeah, that was cool. I like that part too. Just exploring on your own is kind of nice. Even though we had a timeline, it wasn't like we had a rush. So, and then we took a little horse drawn carriage through the other part of the national park, which was nice to have a tour guide and him pointing out stuff and seeing another castle before we had to head home.
And now, just going back, the other thing about getting the car is which side do you get in on? And I know that's a thing we have to get used to whenever we're traveling in other
Oh,
countries
yeah.
that you go to get in the car and it's like, oh, wait, there's no steering wheel here. Hold
Yes,
on. Let me go to
I
the
told
other side of
Jason
the
that.
car.
He was like walking towards the passenger side over there, and I was like, wrong side. You're on the other side. So yeah, yeah, it worked out. We didn't really have any issues with our travel. It went pretty smooth, even hopping around.
And then you got lunch in Killarney. Was it
Yep, it was at the
burgers,
lake.
pizza, or do you actually explore something else for that one?
I did, and Jason did too. Actually, we did it at the Lake Hotel, I believe it was called. It like has a view of the natural. Not what is
National Park.
it? There we go. Uh, but unfortunately, it was raining that day, so it wasn't as nice. But I got um, what did I get? I got they had a unique soup. Not it's really not unique. It was sweet potato and carrot lunch special, and then I got chicken salad sandwich, and then Jason got curry, which it should be surprising if people know Jason, but he liked it.
So, well, even getting curry in Ireland, that's
It's
the
actually popular. It was on
really
a lot, yeah.
well. I
So
guess it's so cold there so often that I guess you need something to warm you up, huh?
yeah, he liked it. He said it was great. My food was delicious too. So, but I also kind of played it safe because I knew we would be traveling, so I knew I didn't want anybody eating anything that might upset their stomachs.
Another important decision you have to make.
Yes. So even though I'd like to explore more of the menu in Ireland, also played it safe because I knew we weren't in certain places for long. So yeah,
Then you got to drive back to Cork and then took your train back to Dublin.
correct. So we did back to Cork to Dublin, and then we just stayed at a hotel near the airport, so we'd be close there for our morning flight.
And now, whenever you take the trains in Europe, you can get the first class and second class, and there's different things that if you're going to do longer trips, then you might want to definitely look at the upgrade. But for shorter train travel, it I don't think it makes too much of a difference.
We had, we did do one first class, and then the other times we were not in first class, and there really wasn't that much of a difference. But they do assigned seating when you book your ticket. So that's the only thing that we learned. 'Cause whenever going back to the first day when we switched our train from Galway, it was supposed to be 11 and we were able to make the 9 o'clock train. We didn't have like names to our seats, so we had to make sure we had to find an open seat that didn't have anybody's names on it. But it wasn't an issue. But that's just something that you have to look out for.
Yeah, and I remember doing that whenever we were in Germany. That we would go on trains and they had the place where you just it was a seat, and then you also had like the little compartments that had like little bench seating, facing each other. So like a little
Yeah.
private room you could close a door. And so we always looked for any of those things that did not have a name on it. And so we knew that that was up for grabs and you could just take it.
Yes.
And we
Yeah.
were successful most of the time getting them. I think there was only one trip that we had to sit in actual seats.
Yeah. The train we took both times had a table and then 2 seats, 4 seats total that you could sit. So that was perfect for us. Um, yeah, we didn't have an issue. So I would recommend that, especially if you don't want to have to deal with driving. Um, and like on Ubers were seemed pretty safe. Like I didn't feel unsafe there. So traveling with everybody, so always a plus. So train and Ubers, if you're planning on hopping from city to city, is definitely doable.
Yeah, and for the most part, if you're going to be traveling, especially like during the day or, not too late into the evening, is that
Hmm.
there's enough people around that Europe is a relatively safe place to visit.
Yeah,
There are some
especially.
spots in there you might want to be careful of, but
Yeah, that's
even big cities, there are some areas you might not want to go to. But if you're going to be going during the daytime, it's not too bad. If you're staying out late to like midnight or 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, then you might want to, be a little more conscious of what's going on. But that's just like any big city around the world.
I would just say that's anywhere. So, but yeah, I didn't feel unsafe at all in Ireland. I mean, we didn't stay out past like 10:30, but but other than that, like walking and everything, I felt completely safe. So
And then make yourself even more safe. Make sure that you have a hat on or some type of something to wear on your clothing that has a Steeler emblem, because that will just like ingratiate you right away.
don't worry about it. Everybody had that on. So I think even if you weren't a Steeler fan, they were a Steeler fan or a Viking fan that weekend for sure. Even in Galway, whenever we were there, you still saw Steeler fans because I think everybody had the similar plan of exploring more than just Dublin.
Yeah, and if you, as Mary said about, it was nice to drive around with Kearney and be on your own a little bit. Having that freedom to go where you want is nice. Just make sure you're doing your homework beforehand to know what your options are and how far things are and what
Yeah.
traffic's going to be like and all the little nuances and details. And that's another reason why you can use a travel advisor, because they can help you plan all that and give you that stuff so you don't have to do all that research yourself. So,
Yes,
and I've
100%.
yeah, and whenever talking to people, it's like, well, I'd like to plan it myself, and I don't want someone to tell. Travel advisors, if you get a good travel advisor, at least, they're not going to say, here's your itinerary, do this. They're going to talk to you and work with you of, okay, what are you interested? What would you
Yeah.
like to do? Hey, here's some options. So you still get to plan all of it yourself. We're just there to do some of the heavy lifting and the stuff, so it saves you time and effort. And well, at least me, I don't charge anything extra because we get paid whenever we book stuff. So
Win-win.
exactly. And then you got to fly back through JFK from
Yes.
Dublin and then on to Pittsburgh.
Yes.
So, and you had a decent flight, 11 o'clock in the morning, so you didn't have to be up super early going to the airport, which is always nice. And then
No,
how was customs going through JFK?
we didn't do it. We actually did it in Dublin.
Oh, that's nice.
So I know every country is different, but in Dublin, we went through customs before we boarded our flight. So we were good to go whenever we landed in New York. Um, just know that you all have to take a train in New York to get to uh, whatever gate you're at. That's the only thing that was not hard to navigate. We just had to figure that out. But from customs size, going going through at Dublin was no issue at all.
We had a similar experience of that this last time coming home from Indonesia that we connected through Montreal and we
Hmm.
went through the customs there and they checked passports and did everything.
Yeah.
And then we landed in Pittsburgh and it was just into the regular terminal. We just got to walk to baggage claim and get our
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it was nice not to have to worry about that once we actually were in the United States. Um, and again, no issues with flights. Got home, and the boys did pretty good with adjusting to time because they were going to school the next day. Back to the grind. Um, but yeah, I would say do it. If you can do it, do it.
Now,
Especially to Ireland.
did you guys sleep on the plane at all?
On the way there, I did not. I probably only got like 2 hours of sleep, if that. Uh, my husband slept, and the two little slept. My oldest Noah was having trouble getting comfortable and sleeping, but everybody. Another nice thing of not jumping into the city right away and having that train ride is that everybody slept a little bit more on the train. So we were like ready to go once we got to Galway. But on the way back, I didn't really want them to sleep that much, to be honest. Um, so some of the kids had homework to do, so they weren't behind in school. That's the only other thing I would change about the trip is trying to go more so not during school, so you don't have to worry about it. But um, it wasn't. We had downtime on the train, so it wasn't. We weren't rushed to get all the work done on the way back, so that was nice. But um, more like naps on the way back, so I think everybody was good to go.
Yeah, no, as soon as the NFL adjusts its season schedule so it doesn't play during school time, then you
Yeah.
can work that out. But
Yeah, tell them to move it up to like Labor Day where they're not like in full school mode yet. So that
yeah,
you can just go and relax a little bit more. But I can't complain. Their teachers are pretty flexible. But yeah.
how'd they handle the time that you spent on the airplane? So did you have the TVs in the seat backs?
Yeah, there was TVs and of course iPads. Um, and then homework just pretty much went through those three things. So the only issue would be definitely I would probably maybe packed more snacks for them for the plane ride home because um, the food options, even though there was like a mac and cheese for kids, it's airplane food, so they are they didn't eat as much as they probably needed to, but no tantrums from anybody, so we made it work.
Well, that's a definite win. Yeah, snacks are the a
Yeah,
necessity if you have younger kids, and even if you don't have younger kids, sometimes.
even when you don't take your snacks. I would have a safe food as I called it. We brought like protein bars. My kids like those. Um, so they were easy to pack and travel with, and so that was our go-to snack if someone was hungry.
Yeah, the little India likes the little fruit bars or the granola bars, things like that. Those are
Yeah,
easy to bring.
yeah,
Don't have to worry about them getting smashed or stuff like that.
yeah. So that would be my travel tip: is bring your snacks for everybody, for all involved.
Yeah, and with the airplane food, even if it's something the kid likes and even if it tastes okay, sometimes there's going to be kids and it's whatever reason they're tired or they're crabby or something. It's I don't like that. And it's going to be just a matter of spite that they don't eat it.
Yes, for sure. But uh, snacks. That's all I gotta say.
So, for my travel tip is when you travel, don't sweat the small stuff.
Hmm.
And a related travel note, it's all small stuff. that for the most part, as long as you have a passport and a credit card or some way to pay, and for nowadays, if you have your phone and you have like Apple Pay or something through there, you're fine.
Yes.
You can always buy things there. And if you can't buy something there, you have to ask yourself, how do the people there live without it? And so you can emulate them. And it's all right. Is this a necessity if I can't find it somewhere?
Yes.
So if you have a travel delay, it's an opportunity to explore the airport or the train station or wherever you are, or to get excited about what you're about to do. Or if it's on the way home, you can reminisce and reflect on what you've done. So it's good family time to, spend time with the people you're around, and you can discuss things and you can talk about things, and you can get creative. I know we've come up with many little games to play in the car when we're driving somewhere or when we're sitting somewhere to keep people occupied. Now our favorite game is, it's basically 20 questions where you think of an animal or you think of a food or you think of something, then everyone else has to ask questions and try and guess it. So
A good game.
that's our big thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Me-
there's always the good favorite of who wants to play the quiet game?
Yeah. That doesn't last long. So,
Depends on their mood.
yeah. Everybody take a nap.
Go take a nap. Your mother's tired.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
now, everyone, if you have a destination or an experience that you'd like to have us discuss on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, or if you'd like to share your favorite place to visit or have a travel tip, feel free to contact me. I'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. Mary, do you want to plug anything or uh, want to
Go to
advertise for anything?
go to Ireland. Take the trip. Even if you're unsure, it's probably going to be a highlight for my family for many years. So I'm glad that we did it, even though, when you first think about taking kids overseas, it's kind of daunting and scary, but it ended up being a great experience. And yeah, use Matt if you need help. He'll help you out.
I got my resources.
Yep.
So, and that's the other thing is that kids are a lot more flexible than you think, that
Yeah.
they can adjust to different situations. And we've talked about this on this podcast before about international travel or any travel really, and the impact it can have on both kids and adults, that the experiences you have, the things you're exposed to, the people you can meet, the food you can try, the things you can
Mhm.
see, that it can be, well, I don't want to oversell this, but it could literally be life changing depending on the situation. And if not, it can be just something that's very, very memorable.
For sure. Even in staying within the United States, take the trip.
Oh yeah, the US is so big and there's so many amazing things
Yeah.
to see.
So if you're not ready for that passport or overseas, just take the trip. That's my advice.
And there's also many places you can travel to that you do not need a passport for, and you can still get a taste of different cultures. Like just in the US, going to Puerto Rico, going to Hawaii, um,
Yeah.
going to a place in the country that, Alaska, that has a little bit of a different background than what you're used to, or different demographics can be great.
Yeah. Even just from East Coast to West Coast.
Oh, yeah, it's a different experience. Yeah.
So
Different vibe.
yeah, that's what I would say. If you can do it, take the trip. Everybody
Now,
will like it or not.
well, it's like, sometimes growing up with our family, you're going to have fun whether you like it or not.
Exactly. There always will be a highlight of a trip, no matter what.
Very true. Now, if you would like to contact me on social media here at the podcast, we're on Facebook and X at Where Yinz Goin, Yinz, Yinz, Goin, Goin with the apostrophe. This information is going to be in the episode description. So if you want to contact me to book a trip or have any questions, you know how to find me. You don't have to have it written down. Although, since you found the podcast once, I think you know how to spell it and everything. But for those of you who are just listening in, if you're playing it on your commute or in a car or too loudly on the train, whatever, thank you for playing it loudly. We'll get more listeners, maybe. I don't know. Please like, follow, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend, let others know, or just play it loudly so other people hear it, because that's, a good thing too. I'm kidding. Don't annoy people. Earbuds are nice. Mary, thank you very much. It was wonderful to have you on. I
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks for
you,
having me.
yeah, getting to reminisce and go through your trip to
Yeah,
Ireland. And
let's go
uh,
back.
I'm all for it. That's
Let's go.
all right.
All
St.
right,
Patrick's Day trip. I'm all for it.
let's do it.
So everyone else, please join us next time. We're heading at that. We'll see you later.
Bye.